Hi guys, so welcome to our new series on which we are going to be teaching Coach Luke how to eventually do a muscle up. So we're going to take him through a few different procedures that will translate well onto the high bar shortly. First thing I want to mention, strength is always the best component when it comes to these gymnastic movements. Naturally, Luke is quite strong, so we don't have to worry about this too much. But if you are ever wanting to learn a muscle up, basic pulling strength is going to be vital. So just practicing your pulling strength on the high bar, managing to do that kind of 5 to 10 pull-ups, that'll then translate better to the muscle ups. When it comes to positions, there's a few different things we want to drill. Number 1 being our hollow position, 2 being our arch position, 3 being our hip hop. So we're going to take Luke through that hollow position, which I don't think he's ever done before, all right? So for this position, it's about keeping the core nice and engaged when we actually translate onto that high bar. So the way it's going to start, we're going to be on the floor, feet are going to slightly come off the ground, toes are going to be pointed, okay? Arms are going to be as close to the ears as possible, and we're just going to hold this position like so, all right? So feet off the ground, legs completely straight, slightly lower, arms over the head, touching the ears like so, and that is your first hollow position. So for this, we should feel good amounts of tension going through the core, all right? So for the next position, we're going to actually go into the arch. So Luke can simply roll over nice and elegantly onto his front, and we're pretty much drilling that exact same position. So arms are overhead, trying to get as close to the ears as possible, tension in the lower back, feet off the ground, ideally touching as well, and you should feel a good amount of tension going through that lower back, all right? So those two positions are essential to get used to, so our hollow and our arch, all right? From there, we're going to look at something called jumping the fence. This is a nice drill when we get onto the high bar, in which we're actually going to drill that hip hop to actually get up and over to transition to that finished position of a muscle up. So easiest way to drill that is upper back into the floor, okay? Knees up at about 90 degrees. You're going to think about there being a fence underneath your feet, and you're trying to get your feet up and over and snap the hips up. So we're here, like so, okay? Luke, can you do 5 of these for me?
Jump the old fence.
Jump the old fence. Lovely. And again. Don't worry about these knees coming too far over yourself. So 90 degree start is perfect. Lovely. That's the one. Give me one more. Good. So as I said, guys, those 3 positions is a great starting point. So now we're going to slowly transition to actually getting onto the high bar, in which we're hopefully going to get Luke up and over. So we'll meet you over at the bar. Right, so we're going to transition those 3 movements that we did on the floor over onto the high bar. So starting with that hollow position, firstly, start position under the bar. You don't want to be directly under. Firstly, you want to take a little step backwards. I've got this plate for Luke because you actually want to be as close to the bar as possible, so you're not jumping really far and you can lose position. So when you jump onto the bar, you want to be jumping actively in that hollow position. Big mistake a lot of people make is they jump up, arm tight, and they're not even getting into a rhythm. Rhythm is essential when it comes to that muscle, especially start position. So we're going to drill, jumping on, and actively getting into that hollow, and you've got that. Simple as that. So hands up overhead where you're going to go, exactly the same position where you go for hollow holds. Active, drop, up to 6 foot down. Dump it. Hands overhead. Cool, right? Now, hollow into your arch. So that arch is where you're on your front, arms are up, chest is forwards, the feet are just exactly that. Take your time with it, don't rush. So, hollow, arch, drop. Hollow, arch, hollow, perfect. Mate, that's really nice. Just keep the arms loose, don't worry about them being a bend. So it'll be hollow, arch, there. Better, good. If you are assisting someone, key thing to do, get their consent first, of course. Ideally, you're just going to chuck them up and over under their butt, right?
Oh shit, in a
Shut down.
I wasn't expecting.
There you go. So that's how you get an assistant. That's how you get an assistant.
Try one round,
yeah.
One and done.
Up! Yeah! There we go! And that's how you build a muscle up. Thanks.